2, 1, and we are live. What up, Founders fan? What's going on? So I am here with a special guest, a founder, the director of strategic partnerships here at Founders, Fernando. Fernando, thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you. You know, you guys are founders just like us, and we appreciate you building this community, being part of this community, and more importantly, engaging with us, because that's how we really get the power of this entire founders community. Am I right?
Absolutely. So this week is Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone is spending time with their families, maybe unplugging and getting some time to kind of recharge your batteries. I was actually speaking with one of our founders, just a few minutes ago, and he's taking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off to recharge his batteries, focus on his business plan and his strategy, but not actually doing any actual work, and focusing really on just getting ready to crush 2018, because 2018 is right around the corner. This is Q4. A lot of money is going to get made around the holidays, and then you're jumping right into 2018. But yeah, so hey, shout out to Ruth. Ruth, what's up? Thanks for joining. Rigo, Mark, what's going on, guys? Thank you. He says, I'm literally in class right now. Dude, that's dope.
You're doing good.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're multitasking. And yeah, you can always watch the instant replays as well. So everyone drop in the comments, where are you guys from and what are your wins for the week? And more importantly than that, what are you grateful for? This is the time of year where people focus on, being grateful for the things you have. We're entrepreneurs, we're always trying to strive for more and strive for excellence, but at the end of the day, you do need to take a step back and be grateful for the things that you have.
For sure. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're grateful for, Anthony? I know you got a lot of positive things going on right now. Give me an example.
Yeah, man. So I'm definitely grateful for my health. I mean, I've been focusing on that a lot lately, really recapturing that. I mean, there's so many excuses when it comes to health, right? Like, I don't have enough time. And, the thing that I like to say is you don't find time, you have to make it. But yeah, so far I've lost like 35 pounds, dude. And I'm going to keep gunning, keep hitting that gym. Anybody who's following me on IG, you already know I hit that gym like daily. But yeah, man, I'm definitely grateful for my health. I'm grateful for the Founders community, all of you guys. I mean, people hit me up on text message, on email, on Slack, and they tell me all the miraculous things that they're accomplishing, through the Founders community. And a lot of the times it's us and our mentorship, but a lot of times it's not us. And a lot of times it's one founder helping another, right? One founder helping another. So I'm really just grateful for this community. I go, out of states, different cities, and all around the country. And wherever I go, when I say Founders, like the name actually does ring bells. So I'm definitely grateful for this community. What about you, Fernando? What are you grateful for?
I want to really piggyback off that. I did it on our culture meeting on Monday, is being very grateful for the community. And I think this right here, I want to extend this to you, because I've personally, as Anthony just mentioned, being part of this right here, being a founder, anywhere you go, everywhere you go, the fact that you're affiliated, the fact that you have this type of mindset really opens direct communications to a much better type of atmosphere. And in here, in Founders, I can personally say that I've been able to build some amazing relationships. Truth be told, I pivot a little bit here. Anthony is actually the first person I met here at Founders straight up months ago, and it's awesome that our first live stream is here together. So I went from coming to a Founders Friday, being a part of an entrepreneur life, coming here networking, and now I get to be the director of strategic partnership. And to really give you an idea of what that is, I have the blessed honor of really building relationships with the community, with other big businesses, but the heart and the soul is building relationships with you. So if we haven't had the opportunity to talk, I want to know how we can provide you more value, how we can get you involved in Founders, how we can get you to our benefit and to our mastermind, and really showcase that value where, just like anything, you get from an organization what you put in. And there's two things that men especially, but as humans in general, are going to think about when we get to our latter ages of our lives, and that's the relationships we build. And Founders, Anthony, Gerard, and all of our community have given us a platform to literally build relationships with quality entrepreneurs, with vetted people that understand, love, and get the hustle. So let me know what we got to do to kind of make that happen. You feel?
Absolutely. And it is pretty prolific. So I remember you came on the team kind of like super part-time during the summer. We were organizing the Global AI Hackathon. And that was a project that I was actually working on for like a year before I even came to Founders. And, you help pull some strings and make some connections there. And then actually just today, me and Monica, the director of culture, we had a call with Angel Hack, which is one of the largest hackathon companies in the world. They actually have a venture fund, and that fund brings venture capital, so it brings funding to startups that start in hackathons. So it's not 100% official yet. We're still working out the details, but it looks like summer of 2018, we're going to be throwing an Angel Hack / Fownders hackathon here in Newark, New Jersey. It's going to be one of the first hackathons. It's going to be the first Angel Hack in New Jersey, in the whole state, and definitely in Newark. And in addition to that, anyone who comes and builds something really amazing, you'll have the chance to get funding from Angel Hack. So yeah, look at that. It's like less than a year later, and we're actually bringing one of the biggest hackathon companies in the world to the city of Newark. So it's definitely exciting stuff. Definitely exciting times. Hugo, I see you on there. What up, Hugo?
We got Jose and Mr. Castellanos in the building. A shout out to you as well.
Word, he says, I'm grateful for my family, my health, and my clients. Absolutely. The last one, so I think a lot of people are usually grateful for their family. I mean, sometimes we take it for granted. And health is one that, a lot of times we may take for granted, but it's common. Being thankful for your clients, man, really loving your customers is something like when you either join a company or are an owner of a company where there's not a love for the customer. Not to say the customer's always right, but you really have to love and appreciate your customers and your clients because they're the lifeline of your business and your organization. And it's really easy to get in that negative mindset of looking at clients as work, right? Every single time that a client calls you, it's usually for more work, right? But rather than being upset about that, you should really be grateful that you have them as a client and you're able to serve them. And at the end of the day, like living a life of servitude, being someone who is trying to share their gifts and their talents with the world is what's going to make you a successful entrepreneur and what's going to make you really a successful person in life.
No, for sure, man. And it's really all about people over profit. When you appreciate the people, whether it's the people in your circle, whether it's your employees, your team, your clients, it really sets the culture. Because I don't remember exactly where I heard the quote, but it's don't fall in love with your business, fall in love with your clients, right? Because a lot of people are constantly marketing, the company, the team, the brand, what we do. But our job as entrepreneurs, as people of service, is to give service. And it's not to us, but it's to our clients, it's to the people that we serve. So when we become obsessed with understanding our client, figuring out what our clients need and building relationships, and I'm sure, Jose, if you have that mentality, you're not in the game of selling, you're in the game of building relationships. And that's a totally different path because when you build relationships, you turn clients from one purchase into a lifetime of relationship, not only on a personal level, but also on a business level. So shout out to you, Jose, from Florida, definitely getting the right mindset.
Word. Rigo says, I'm grateful for my parents. Their sacrifices allowed me to be where I am today. Dude, I totally relate. I'm super grateful for my mother and the upbringing that she gave me. And it's funny because I was a knucklehead. Like when I was a teenager, I really thought I knew everything. And
you're one of those too?
Yeah, I mean, I think every entrepreneur is, right? We're not really keen to following rules. But as I got older, even the rules that I broke as a teen, they were still instilled in me. And now I use that as a compass as an adult. So now that I'm an adult and I've my hormones probably calmed down a little bit, I now have a compass to show me right from wrong, to show me good and evil and all of those things. So I'm definitely grateful for my parents as well. It's super dope. Hugo says I'm grateful for Fownders and having found Fownders, and Rob says the same. The Fownders community. We're grateful for you, man. We're grateful for each and every one of the Fownders members in this community because this community isn't shit without y'all. So again, thank you guys. Lily Lucia
says, I'm grateful for all my life, family, friends, body, career, Def seeing Fownders, and what an epic business model it is. Facts. And then we got grateful for rad men like us.
Like us.
I'll take it. Shout out to you.
Yeah, and I actually, we're connected. I see your stories. You're doing a lot of awesome, inspirational stuff.
I gotta follow.
So yeah, keep doing your thing as well. All right, awesome. So let's jump into the member highlights of the week. So as you guys know, every week we give shout outs to members in our community. And this week we have something really exciting to announce to the members of our community. We have introduced the ability to connect with other founders on the platform. So similar to LinkedIn, similar to Instagram or Facebook, you're now able to add, I don't want to call them friends, but connections, lifelong connections on the platform. So this feature just rolled out. It's still in beta, but it is public to the entire community. You can now start building your network, building your connections. In addition to that, you can also fill out your skills. So what are you good at? And then your interests. So what do you want to get better at? And this information, this data of having skills and interests, first of all, the interests aggregates what goes in your newsfeed. So what goes in your newsfeed is going to be controlled by your interests. You tell us what you want to learn. You tell us what you want to get better at. And we're going to show you curated videos in your newsfeed based on those interests. In addition to that, the skills are going to be used to match other entrepreneurs with people in need. So if you have a really, really strong product, but you need help with marketing, we're going to connect you with marketers, with people in our network who have identified themselves as being strong in marketing, and vice versa. If you have great marketing and great branding, but you need someone to help you with finance and operations, again, we're going to connect you with people, founders, members in our community who have strengths in operations, who have strengths in finance that can help you in those areas. So if you haven't already, I encourage you to go to founders.com, log in, and go into your account. And if you haven't logged in a while, it's going to bring you into our onboarding process. It's about 4 steps, super, super easy. And fill out the information and tell us what are your skills, what are your interests. Upload a profile picture so people know you're real. Put in your geographical location. Let us know what city you're in so that we can connect you with people in your city. So the highlight members of the week are now going to focus on not only members who are providing value, but also members who are utilizing this new profile that we've introduced. So
I should like to piggyback off that.
Sure.
Before you kind of knock them down, kind of really honing in on connection, which is kind of what we're building here. It is exactly what we're building here, piggyback off community, and we want to congratulate all of you for really being that partnership. But let's talk about connections, because I see this really in younger entrepreneurs, and definitely not in what I see here, but I think we should address it, where everyone's always focused on getting the next sale, getting the next close, getting those numbers, hitting those budgets, Q4, new ones, marketing, funnels. So we spend all this time, all this money on getting new clients, and then when we get them, we fulfill them, and then we forget about them. Bad attitude. You work so hard, you spend all this money, all this mental energy in making them happen. So I'd like to ask a little question here, if you guys mind taking a little action. How many of you have ever heard of a drip campaign? A drip campaign. If you have or you haven't, let me define that for you. What a drip campaign is what you do, the relationship you build with your client after you've fulfilled your service or giving your product. And I'll give you examples of how you can build a drip campaign. Easy things: birthday cards, birthday emails, anniversary cards, or if there's a new moment in their life, they buy a home, they get to have a baby, sending them a card, congratulating them, a basket. That little extra investment, I guarantee you, is less than the client acquisition cost you had on acquiring the client in the first place. So when you focus on building relationships for a lifetime, you actually will spend less on your marketing efforts. It's part of this methodology I have called marketing backwards, where if you build a database and you give good service, which we all do, and you love your clients, if you build that process and you go break that fourth wall and get to know them as a human, as an individual, you can really actually have not only a personal relationship where you turn a client into a friend, but you can have a long-lasting line referral business. So think of this community as the ability to not go in saying, hey, can you do this for me? Or hey, how can I leverage this? Think about, how can I build a relationship with this person? How can I connect this person to someone else I met at Fownders to give them an opportunity to provide value? If you keep that focus in mind in the downpipe, 4 to 6 months, because that's really the cycle when it comes to building relationships, is going to be better off than you constantly just focusing on the next sale. So just take that home with you.
Yeah, no, one of my old business partners used to say that it costs you twice as much to acquire a new customer than it does to keep an existing customer happy.
100%.
Churn rate is what that's called. When you have a customer and then you lose a customer. And like you said, people are so focused on getting new customers. Like, are you keeping your existing clients happy? Sometimes you have to spend a little something to take a client out to dinner for their birthday, or give them, some credit on their bill because they have been a customer for a long time. They've been showing you loyalty. But really, keeping the customers you have is just as important, if not more important, than acquiring new customers. Another thing that, if you follow me on social, I posted a couple of quotes from Grant Cardone. And yeah, dude, it's freaking crazy. He's like super old with a super young soul. It's really dope. But yeah, so what he was saying was like when you're a little kid, you're told that not to talk to strangers. And the thing is, in business, dude, you have to talk to strangers
all the time.
You have to talk to new people. You have to continually be building your network and connecting with more people and networking, man. And that soft skill, which has nothing to do with business, has everything to do with business. So really getting out of that mindset of being shy, getting out of that mindset of I'm not going to talk to strangers, and really being open to growing your network. Maybe letting go of some old friends and welcoming some new friends. That's huge. So 2018 is coming. I want you guys for the next 30 days to think about at least one friend that you're going to kind of close the chapter of that book. And again, it doesn't have to be a bad thing or a negative thing. You can still have love for them. You can still maybe talk to them, once or twice a year. But everyone has that one friend that you're probably talking to about once a week. And it could really be cut down to like once a year. So I want everyone to think, if you have any people in your life, if you're still talking to the people that you knew when you were 8 years old, like I'm pretty sure you're a lot smarter than you were when you were 8 years old. And I'm pretty sure you're going to make a lot better decisions now. So I want you to think about any old friends that you may have that are not serving you. Yeah. Again, if they're serving you, great. If your 8-year-old friend is, he works at Goldman Sachs, then like great, like keep that guy as a friend. But if you have any old friends that are not currently serving you for your goals of where you want to go in the future, I want you to consider not severing the relationship, but maybe closing that chapter and moving on to something bigger and better.
My boy Brad said he has no friend. But by the way, have I ever told you the wagons? That's a good. I think Brad, you're doing good, but that's perceptional. Have I ever told you the wagon story? It really personifies.
Brad, I'm your friend, bro. What are you doing? Come on, we're all your friends.
We're all your friends.
Stop it. No, what were you saying?
The wagon story? Have you ever heard the wagon story?
No, let's do it.
What's that? Wagon story. So I'll give you, I actually have a wagon on my desk in my office for this exact same reason. And I call it the wagon speech, but I'll get to that. But the story is this. So I want you to imagine this really old wagon. It's not a nice wagon. It's not one of those red ones with the carbon fiber hand. It's not like that. It's an old wooden wagon. It has large wheels, has this long, like metallic, rusty handle, this giant rope at the end tied in a knot. And at the other end of the rope is you, all right? And this rope is tied around you. And you go through life and you pull this wagon, you pull this wagon, you pull this wagon. We're all entrepreneurs. We're focused, motivated, driven people. So you pull this wagon. As you go through life, sometimes, it gets a little more difficult. Not for any other reason, but you get older. Things happen. You have responsibilities. You have, that battle within yourself and discovering who you are. And you start realizing that instead of pulling the wagon this way, you're not pulling the wagon this way. But you, the person that you are, being a founder, you keep pulling, you keep pulling, you keep pulling, and you get to this point right here where you no longer can pull the wagon by yourself anymore. So you go through a shift in consciousness where you realize, I'm an entrepreneur, but that doesn't mean I have to be a solopreneur. And my goal is to build a team. So you start building a team, you start finding people, and you start putting them on your wagon. And every person on that wagon needs to be doing something. Somebody needs to push the wagon from the back. The other person has to wipe the rocks from in front of the wheels. Someone else needs to sew the rope. Another person needs to wipe the sweat. Everyone needs to be being productive and efficient in pulling this wagon. But here's the truth, to speak about what Anthony said. Sometimes there's going to be people on your wagon that are not going to do anything.
They're not pulling their weight
at all. They're just sitting on your wagon going, man, this is awesome, bro. I know with him, I'm going to make it places. So I'm going to sit and watch. F those people, man. You got to get the hell off my wagon. Okay, now let me put it that way. You got to get the hell off my wagon. But that's one. And then you have the worst type of person that when you turn around, they start pushing. And then when you look forward, they stop pushing. So you want to know who's on your wagon, who's pulling your wagon when you're not around. That's the secret. So this is what I do. I literally do it every single quarter, 4 times a year. I get a list, and I write down everyone who I consider is on my wagon. And then I answer 2 questions. What could this person be doing, and what are they doing? If the difference is too large, I have what's known as the wagon talk, where I sit in my office, that I've had this wagon, and I never tell people what my wagon is about, so I'm giving you all my secrets here. Sorry for everyone on my team, but if we ever have the wagon talk, is when we sit down and I assess, hey, is it something I'm doing? Am I not communicating? Are you not enjoying yourself? Are you not happy? Are you not satisfied financially? Then let's have this talk. What do I need to do to improve? If after that, you haven't gotten to that point where you're motivated, driven to be on this wagon, here's the truth, my brothers and sisters, that if someone's on your wagon and they're not pulling their full weight, as much as you love them, you care for them, and you want to make them successful, you will never give that person's wagon 100%. So it's actually in your interest and their interest that you cut them out of your wagon. And I don't mean, call them and tell them to, go F yourself. I mean, literally call them and say, hey, listen, I love you. You've been a great friend to me, but I'm going this way, and you're going that way. So there's a moment where we got to sit down and say, I'm cool with you going that way, but I need to go this way. And you need to have that conversation because it's in their interest and your interest that you get the best and most efficient people on your wagon. So buy yourself a wagon, put it as your wallpaper, and then have the wagon story with whoever is in your life that's not pulling their weight.
Absolutely. That was dope, man.
Thank you
for sharing. Yeah, and I actually have done that in my life quite a few times. And I did it the most recently about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I was about to go back to school and start focusing. I went to Rutgers Coding Boot Camp. And so I was embarking on that. I was like saving up the money to make the down payment, whatever. It cost like $10,000. And I knew that was what I wanted to do. And I had actually two choices. I had one choice to go be the director of technology. I had an offer at an agency down in Philly, really super dope video marketing, like digital creative agency. Yeah, what up? And I had a choice to either go take this job for a short-term gain or have a long-term goal of growing in myself and actually focusing on myself and going back to school and leveling my own skills up. And obviously I chose the latter. I chose to go learn more and become the best version of myself. So before I was about to embark on that journey, I called some of my old friends and I said, listen, I know you're used to going out with me and like drinking and hanging out on the weekends. I'm about to spend $10,000 on this course, and this course has class on Saturday, bro. And even when the class is over on Saturday, I'm going to have freaking homework, and I'm going to have projects to work on, and I'm going to have like tons of stuff to work on. So, I made that decision to communicate to key people in my life and let them know, listen, if you want to go and grab coffee, you want to go to a Starbucks on a Tuesday afternoon, I'll be there. But as far as like going out to the nightclubs and that stuff, I'm going to put a lot of that stuff on pause right now. Hit me up on my birthday. Like we could probably like pop bottles on my birthday. But besides that, like we're not like just popping bottles because it's a Friday.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah, on a Tuesday. Right?
So let's go through some of these shout outs. Let's start off with Juan C. Cardenas. I love that we got a little Latin flavor on here. Just joined Fownders. We appreciate you for taking care of your profile. So shout out to you, Juan C. Cardenas. Make sure you go add him via the community. Who else we got in?
And yeah, I think we're going to be dropping the links to the Fownders members in the Slack. Yeah, there they are. So Rob just dropped the link. If you guys want to connect with Juan, go ahead and connect with him. Click the profile. Make sure you're logged into your account, and you'll be able to see his company, read his bio, and all that stuff. Next is Bradley Colin. Colin. He offered 10 free memberships to his website building platform for Fownders members. So Brad, you actually just commented that you don't have friends. Dude, I'm your fucking #1 supporter.
Yeah, I called him
no idea. So he has an amazing platform. I call it $5funnels.com. Dude, for $5 a month, he's building a ClickFunnels alternative that actually has more functionality. For those of you who don't know what ClickFunnels is, it's a website building program so that you can kind of collect email addresses and build small websites and accept transactions. He's building a competitor to them that actually has more features. And instead of charging $97, which is what ClickFunnels charges, he's charging $5 a month. Dude, it's like almost free. Wow. And he's also offering 10 free memberships for people to try out his app. So connect with him on the Fownders platform, connect with him here on Facebook, connect with him on the Slack community, and reach out to him if you're interested in trying out his ClickFunnels alternative for not only $5 for free. Brad, thank you so much for providing value to this community. It's greatly appreciated.
Now we got Adrian Gomez, specializes in VR and marketing. So I can't wait to see the world of virtual reality marketing. That has to be so badass. So shout out to you, Adrian. If you want to learn more about virtual reality and you want to learn more about how you can market, and I'm assuming combine virtual reality and marketing, I need you to hit up and talk to our boy Adrian. I'm sure our boy Rob here, I don't know why I'm saying boy so much. So our friend Rob here, our founder Rob here, is going to add his connection on the Slack as well. So Adrian Gomez.
Absolutely. And next up, we have Devon Cosby. Has been super responsive and engaged with the community. Devon, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we're definitely going to connect both on the Fownders platform and on Slack. So I'm actually going through and clicking every link and connecting with all the members. Again, thank you guys for being a part of this community.
For sure. And then lastly, we have, speaking about you a lot today, brother, Jose Victor Castellanos. He owns a successful boutique marketing agency called Rincon. Is that what it is? Is it Recon or Rincon? Because I'm going to get super Spanish on it. I think it's Recon, but I'm just going with the Castellanos.
It depends. It depends what room you're in.
That's for sure. No, but you know what? Just like really flip it to them. Para mi gente aquí latina, for my Spanish founders, quiero que recuerdes que aquí mismo tenemos una comunidad para ti también. And I know Rob's going to love it talking in Spanglish here, so I can keep everyone involved. Vamos a tener Founders Latino. Nosotros somos una gente. Yo soy colombiano. Where are you from?
Puerto Rico.
Puertorriqueño y colombiano. Y nosotros tenemos que estar juntos, tenemos que hablar, nos tenemos que ayudar, porque nuestra, como se dice, cultura nos ha dicho que tenemos que hacer todo solo. Y nosotros sabemos como entrepreneurs que aquí todo tiene que ser en equipo. So just to quickly translate, we are having a Latin community, Latin founders. We're having connections in Colombia, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, Spain, and our goal is to really unite that community as well. So be proud. If we have any Latin founders in here, drop a comment. We want to know who you are. We want to get you involved in what we're building in that Latin community. For sure.
Absolutely. And we are also looking for speakers, people who are able to shoot master classes. So if you know anyone who has a 7-figure business who's in the Latin community, please feel free to refer them over to us. Reach out to Rob, and we are building an online version of Founders Community for Latin America. It's all going to be translated into Spanish. So definitely looking forward to that. All right, great. So for the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, there is no Founders Friday. I do apologize, guys. Founders Friday is actually going to be postponed until next Friday.
We're forcing you to engage with your family, right? Do it, man. Do it. One of my keystone habits for these holidays, and I actually did it when I celebrated my birthday last month, and I'm doing it tomorrow. I leave my phone under my pillow. The first thing I do is I make my bed. So that's like one of my keystone habits. I'm literally leaving my phone under my pillow. So all of you, I love you and all, but I'm going full in 10X Grant Cardone style, all on investing into my family. So you don't have to leave your phone, but definitely take time to appreciate where you came from and those people in your life. Because I'll tell you one thing, you don't realize it, but you will one day, that they appreciate that time you give to them more than they will ever tell you and more than you will probably ever know. So take advantage of that time.
Absolutely. All right, cool. So tech updates, we spoke about this a little bit already, but we now have the ability to connect with other members. This is going to be huge. A lot of these features right now are very, very preliminary, but they're going to lead to bigger and better things. So I encourage you to take advantage of them now. Connecting with members, starting to build your founders following. All the people right now, you're the day ones. So you can be the first person to use Snapchat, like the person in 2014 that was the first guy on Snapchat that now has like 20 million followers because he was the first guy. You can be the first guy on Founders. So I definitely encourage you to start building your connections, building your network. The next tech update is the ability to have a more robust profile. So again, there was a very light version of the profile that has now been incorporated to add some more data. The next is the ability to fill out your skills. So again, the skills is another thing where right now it's only going to be displayed on your profile for this week, but within the coming month, we're going to start connecting entrepreneurs based on the skills that they populate, and you don't want to be the last person to do this. You want to be the first. So again, go into the Fownders platform, fill out your skills, let us know what you're good at, and if there is a skill or an interest that you have as a founder and it is not currently on the platform, we have I think 15 skills and interests, please let us know via the feedback button, and we'll look into incorporating that. And last but not least is we'll be choosing our top 5 members. But to be considered for that, you have to fill out your profile. So right now on the top left-hand side of the newsfeed, there's a section for newest members. What we kind of realized after having it there for a while is that the newest members usually haven't filled out their profile yet. I mean, they just haven't had the time. They just signed up. So we're going to be converting that into a top 5 of our member highlights of the week. So our member highlights of the week are going to get the additional notoriety and the additional exposure to be on the left-hand side of the newsfeed for the entire week. So this is super huge if you want to get a little bit of extra publicity for your personal brand. We're going to be releasing social networking features this week as well. So you're going to be able to have links to your social media. And again, that's going to be a huge feature if you're trying to build your Instagram following, you're trying to drive traffic to your website. You're going to be able to be pinned on the left side of that newsfeed for engaging with our community, providing value to the members of our community, and then also making sure that your entire profile is filled out because we don't want to feature people's profiles that aren't filled out. For sure. Cool, great. So now upcoming events. I'll let you take the first one.
All right, we got to hit it right with our benefit, man. Our benefit is going to be just absolutely bananas. It's December 8th. December 8th. It's a Friday. We have a whole weekend for you, 8th, 9th, and 10th. That whole weekend. We're going to start off with the benefit, and I'll let Anthony chime in on the mastermind. But the benefit is going to be December 8th at Avenue A from 6:30 to 9:30. And if you saw last week's where we had Jade and Amanda really talk about future founders, that's going to be our main focus that day. Just to really give you a quick synopsis, maybe you were in the video, maybe you weren't, but Future Founders is our nonprofit division here at Fownders. And I'm blessed to be the director of partnership, not only for the Future Founders, but Founders as well. But my main heart, my love, it is in Future Founders. And what we really do is we're going in and we're working with the youth. We're working with our future generations, the people that are going to be running this planet, that are going to be creating the next Snapchat, the next founder, all of that from 7th grade all the way to 12th. And what we do is that we go into these schools, right, and we teach them about entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and emotional intelligence. I don't know about you. I'm blessed I had great parents and a great network, but school didn't teach me any of that shit. They didn't even freaking talk about it. Emotional intelligence, I got to understand how I talk to people. Like, that is literally, to me, in the future, with all this AI and all this virtual, emotional intelligence is going to be the largest and the most sought-out commodity because they're going to need humans to talk to humans because we're all going to be used to talking to robots. So emotional intelligence, entrepreneurship, all these skills that you already know that took you years to figure out, and then financial literacy. Simple thing like saving your receipts. Now that you're a business owner, I guarantee you got a shoebox full of receipts, just like we all do, because we know that expenses and Uncle Sam want their cut. So we want to make sure that we're intelligent enough to not only have a financial breakdown, a future analysis, but really be able to do those itty-bitty gritty things like save your receipts. So on December 8th, we're going to be showcasing to you what we've done, how we've impacted over 200 kids only in Newark. And our plan is to go national. We want to go everywhere. Newark, Los Angeles, Camden, Detroit. We want to go to all these different cities and really influence them and give them the opportunity, give them the difference between eyesight and mindsight, that they have the opportunity to make this happen. And just last week, I was in Eastside with Amanda and Jade. And I got to really talk to these kids, and you almost had to rip me out of the room. You literally Amanda had to drag me out of it. I don't want her to stay so bad. And it ended up turning out that I've been speaking to a lovely girl named Lauren, and she's building a photography business, and it feels so good to be able to show her what 26 years of entrepreneur life, we can really encapsulate that in an hour and help her really expedite that business. And that all goes back to building relationships. So if you want to build lasting relationship with people that care about education, youth, and the future business owners and entrepreneurs, the future 1%ers, we really want you to be there. December 8th, Avenue A, right here in Newark from 6:30 to 9:30. And if you want an open bar, You got it. So I'll see you there December 8th. Now tell me a little bit about the mastermind.
And the link for that event is in the comments.
Appreciate you, Rob.
That's the Facebook link. Make sure that if you RSVP and share it on Facebook, you also go to fownders.org and purchase your tickets online. And so that's the 8th. And then the 9th and the 10th, Eric Thomas is coming back to Newark, New Jersey. He's coming with his team and the Breathe University squad. Gerard is going to be here with the entire Fownders squad, and we're going to have an immersive 2-day event focusing. Day 1 is all focused on personal development, and day 2 is all focused on business development, marketing. How do you get your customers? How do you engage with your customers? It's going to be an awesome event. If you buy a VIP ticket, you can do a morning workout with Brian Mazza. Yeah, he's amazing. And we're also going to have a private VIP lunch, so you guys are not going to want to miss that. Definitely go to foundersmastermind.com so you can RSVP and get your tickets. And you can actually make an entire event out of it. So, the 8th is going to be our benefit for our nonprofit. That's going to be an amazing event. A lot of high, powerful people are going to be there. And then the 9th and the 10th is going to be our mastermind, immersive, 12 hours a day for 2 days straight. And that's going to be amazing as well. That's also in the city of New York.
Be there.
Own it. You're going to feel silly when you see the B-roll on Facebook.
Damn, I should have invested in myself. Benjamin Franklin, right? The investment in yourself returns the highest dividend. So I'll see you there 8th, 9th, and 10th, homies. And lady dudes.
Next up is dudettes.
Dudettes? All right, dudettes.
Next up is book recommendations. So the first one is one from you, man.
Yeah, I'd actually like to switch it up. I had put The Power of Habit in here, but since this whole conversation has really been about connections and relationships, I'm going to give you the kindergarten foundation on building human relationship. It's called How to Make Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends, and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's I think it's like a 6-hour audio. I've read it over 3 times in my life, and it's literally the foundation of how to build relationships. I can easily say that it's changed my life. So I'm going to give you the one nugget. There's tons of nuggets, but I'm going to give you the one nugget and then a funny story of how I tested it. Overall, it just teaches you how to communicate, emotional intelligence in its really early stages. But in a nutshell, the biggest lesson I got from there is to always remember people's names and try to say it as many times as you can in a conversation as possible. Why? Because people, humans, you subconsciously love hearing your name. We all love it. We're conditioned since a baby. Oh my God, Fernando. We were used to it. We love hearing our names. And when we hear our names, we tend to engage and be more in the conversation. So in my head, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to memorize all these names. Let me give it a test. So this is how I tested it. I had been going to the same Quick Check. I had a business in Woodbridge. I've been going to the same Quick Check for like 3 years. Going. Same lady, always said hi to her, super lovely, but never engaged really. And I was in a rush. I was on my phone. I was like, I don't want to talk to this person. I said, you know what? Let me change it up. So I went to her on a random Wednesday, all factors equivalent, and I just said, hey, you've been helping me for all these years, 3 years. I just want to know your name. What's your name? Her name was Amanda. And I said, hey, Amanda, how's your day? Blah, blah, blah. Started talking to her. Long story short, she started opening up to me. What usually took 5 minutes to make a sandwich turned into 15 minutes of making a sandwich. But I learned about her family, what she was going through, and honestly, we connected. And I made it a point to say Amanda as many times as possible. And what was the verdict? I got the fattest sandwich I had ever gotten in my life. I got free guacamole, I got double meat, the goods of extra mozzarella, and I didn't pay a penny. Was that my goal? No. But did it prove to me the power of saying someone's name? Yes. So if you're in the game, if you're in the world, if you're in business about building relationships, because remember, that's what I do here. My goal is to build relationships with you. So let me know how we can connect, but just try to say the person's name as much as possible. They'll appreciate that you remember it, and it'll also show them that you're engaged in the conversation. So How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Book number 1.
Absolutely. That's a gem. I think that's one of the most recommended books that I always hear about, and I have yet to read it. I definitely need to check that out.
Please.
The next one I have it's a thick one. It is The Art of Seduction.
I see what you did there.
So, hey. So The Art of Seduction, if you read the 48 Laws of Power. It's by the same gentleman, Robert Greene. And the Art of Seduction, it goes through 50 or so stories of the greatest seducers of mankind. So it goes through like the stories of Don Juan and the stories of like the queens that from Egypt. What's her name?
Cleopatra.
Cleopatra, there you go. Cleopatra and all these historic times in history and the best seducers of mankind, both male and female. And then it gives you an insight on not only the story of what happened, but what strategies did they use to captivate their seducers. It's a really, really amazing book. I actually just lent it to a friend of mine, and she was like blown away by it. I said, listen, I'll loan you the book, but you have to promise me two things. One, that you read it, and two, that you return it as soon as you're done reading it.
Don't seduce me.
And three, don't like use the black magic shit. She actually texted me the night right after she started reading it, and she was like, wow, this is like super impactful for me. So The Art of Seduction, Robert Greene, is a great freaking book. Check it out. It's a thick one. But once you read the first chapter, you're going to get hooked. And life really is seduction. Life, sales, even if you're not seducing, a lover, even if you're happily married, you want to continue to make your spouse be seduced by you and fall in love with you. And then in addition to that, you have to seduce people in business relationships, in, when you're networking, when you're building your network. So seduction is a good skill, even if you're not trying to be Don Magic Wand. All right, next up, member perk of the week. Shout out to Monday, man. Monday, we just recently closed this deal. I worked on this deal personally. Monday is a project management software designed for the future. So if you guys have ever used Trello to manage projects or teamwork, we've actually used both. If you've ever used Jira, that's like really a nightmare. Monday is great for startups. It is so amazing. And if you sign up using our link or a coupon code, I'm not sure how it unlocks, you'll get 15% off. So 15% off, and it looks like the code is Monday Makes Me Happy. It will make Monday happy for you. We used to dread using our project management software. You come in, it's like, all my tasks are in there. It's terrible. Ryan says Monday's an awesome tool. We have some fans out there. It was actually called The Pulse, and they just rebranded to Monday kind of recently. Dude, Monday is such an amazing tool. From the moment that I used it, I knew that I wanted to have a partnership with these guys and share this tool with the Founders community. It has built-in templates for project management for all software. For all types of projects, including software, but all types of projects that a startup goes into. So software development, business development, marketing, sales funnels, investor relations. There's a built-in template. If you're out trying to raise money for investors, you can have different phases and everything. So honestly, just using this piece of software will teach you project management. It's really amazing. It's really just out of the box. Easy to use. It's a mix between the simplicity of Trello and maybe the organization of a Jira or a Teamwork. And honestly, the templates alone really take it up to the next level. And I was talking to our rep over on Monday, and she said that they started off with the templates only being a feature for their corporate users, so their corporate customers have reached out and said, hey, can we get a template for this? Can we get a template for that, for Scrum, for Agile Sprints, for marketing? And then eventually they asked us, is it okay if we publish these templates? And so they've published the templates. It's over 50 different workflows for startups, for different times in your business. And it's an awesome tool. Totally recommend it. You can click. There's a free 14-day trial. Play with it. The software is called Monday. And if you sign up with the code, you get 15% off.
Love it, man. Love it. So I got to check that out. So I know we got about like 15 more minutes, right? It's looking like. So
yeah.
You got something. I got a little thought in my head. I don't know if we can share it.
No, go ahead. So go ahead, jump into that thought. And then if anyone has any questions, I think a few people did text in their questions. So if you got the text message, from Fownders. You can reply to the text message with your question, or you can just put your questions in the comments. Either way, and I actually have one question from text messaging here. But let's jump into your thought first.
So let's make a quick one because I want to make sure we acknowledge you for taking the time for texting us in. But I kind of want to talk about tying in the knot, the importance of saying someone's name, the importance of talking to strangers, and the importance of building community and being connected. So I don't know if it was like February or January, as I was mentioning how I met Anthony. I came here to a Founders Friday and totally networking, didn't know anybody, had never met anybody before, and I was in the room and I'm like, I want to meet everybody. So I said hi to every freaking stranger until I found someone that I really connected with, which was Anthony. And we proceeded in building, a really awesome relationship. And that started with taking the action of talking to a stranger. And if you think about it in context, I went from never, ever being a part of Founders to months later having the opportunity to be here on the screen speaking to you wearing a Founder shirt. So if that's not a testament to saying someone's name and building relationships and talking to someone that is a stranger, I don't know what is. I'm living proof of it. I'm literally living proof of it. And I want to really empower you to challenge yourself to speaking with all of us and speaking with the people that you think don't want to speak to you, because you would be so surprised at how willing and open people are in engaging with you. And another story, there's a cool, awesome dude. His name is Brian. He's here all the way from Ireland. And I've had the opportunity to build an amazing relationship with Nicole and Brian. And we were actually at an expo over the weekend. And we were at a table literally for a total of, I think, 17 hours. And we really got to build a relationship. And I can genuinely say that I'm fired up because I already committed, and I'll commit here publicly, that I will be going to Ireland next year to visit this guy. And it went from, speaking, we hit each other on Instagram, and I just want to acknowledge what he did. We had an event, and without me really asking, hey, I need help, I just kind of said, we're doing this, if anyone would like to join. And he was like, I'm there. I'm going to be there. He lives all the way in downtown Manhattan, doesn't drive, he's here from Ireland, and he made it all the way to Edison just to be there. And that, to me, that's impressive. And that got us to saying, let's talk a little more. We had the opportunity to connect. And if he didn't take that action, and if he didn't build that relationship, if he didn't want to give value and help first and know more about me, we wouldn't have the relationship, and I probably wouldn't be going to Ireland. So now it went from two simple things, from not knowing Founders to being in Founders to not knowing anyone in Ireland and now building business in Ireland. And it all came from building relationships, building connections, and saying people's names. And all of you have that opportunity here given to us by this amazing platform and Founders. So please connect with us. And Rob, if you don't mind, you can drop the link to my Facebook or my Instagram on the comments. I'd really appreciate it. And my Instagram is Mr. MRFJV. So hit me up, DM me, whatever you want to do, slide in the DM as they say. And I'd love to really start building a relationship with you and see how we can incorporate you in our benefit or here at Founders. So let's do that. And now let's talk about this question.
Absolutely. And yeah, just to acknowledge Victor. Victor said I'm really bad with names. And, traditionally so am I. But anything that you're bad at in life, it doesn't mean you're bad forever. You were bad, but that's the past. The future is not determined yet. So definitely practice repeating people's names when you first meet them. And you'll get better at it like anything else in life. And so our question via text message is, what specific advice would you give to us to reprogram our subconscious minds? Wow, that's deep. Fernando, you want to take this one?
I love it because literally the book that I had recommended before was Power of Habit, and I'll go into a few things. So Power of Habit is a book about building habits, and I've become obsessed with what's called mental models and keystone habits. Mental models is a decision-making process that you can condition your brain to do, and a habit is a triggered response to an emotion. So the Power of Habit explains the habit loop, which is a cue, a routine, and a reward. That is what a habit is. It's a cue, a routine, and a reward. And let's give an example like smoking a cigarette. The cue is, you see someone smoking a cigarette. The routine is that you smoke a cigarette. And the reward is the satisfaction of smoking. I'm not, promoting cigarette smoking. I'm just giving you an example. So what you want to do to change those habits, because sometimes people try to go cold turkey, they try to do all these extreme things, but you need to break it down into those three pieces. You need to acknowledge what your cues are so that you become aware of them. You need to be conscious and strong-willed enough to build a new routine, and then you need to still give yourself the same reward. So in order to change a habit, you need to keep the cue, keep the reward, change the routine. And I'll give you an example. So your same example, the cue, you see someone, with a cigarette. The routine is going to be quench your fist, quench your fist, quench your fist. And the reward is going to be the satisfaction of knowing you stopped. I know it sounds simple and people are going to say, well, it's much harder than that, but you have to start somewhere. And it all starts with building that mental muscle. Because just like how you go to the gym and you lift those weights, your brain is the same thing. So to acknowledge the person that said they're not good at names, that's not an IQ thing. It really isn't. You can not be the quote unquote smartest person in the world and still be amazing at acknowledging people and memorizing names. That's a mental skill that you need to practice. So your brain is like a muscle. And from there, when you understand what it takes to actually build a routine and build that cue routine reward system, that habit, you can go into keystone habits. And I'll give you one that I do every single day. So something that I do every single day is that on my way to the gym and on my way back, I listen to a TED Talk. And I listen to a TED Talk because one, I want to learn, but two, the keystone habit that I'm building is start something, finish something. Start something, finish something. So the fact that every day I watch a 10-minute video that I start and I finish, in those 10 minutes, I'm conditioning my brain to feel good because I started and I finished something. That helps me when I'm going through 4 hours of accounting. I'm like, I just want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. But my brain goes, no, you like it and enjoy when you start and when you finish. When you start and when you finish. So guess what I do? I power through and I finish. So being able to build those little wins is going to really help you. It's just like health. Last example. If you eat one burger, right, today, chances are you're going to be good. You're still going to be healthy. If you have a burger for every day for a week, it's still good. If you start having a burger every day for a month, it's going to start being problems. If you eat a burger every day for a year, guess what? You're going to be a burger. So it's not about fully changing the habits, but it's about small victories and conditioning your brain to celebrate the small victories in your life. And that's how you're going to be able to switch those habits and build those keystone habits into your routine, for sure.
Absolutely. So that reminds me of an analogy that I always use, and it's actually water. So the first thing that you have to realize is your subconscious mind, like the voice in your head, that's not you. A lot of people think like, oh, that's me. No, that's autopilot. That's going to happen whether or not you have an intelligent thought or not. You see a person and you have never met this person. You have zero context, and automatically you go into judging mode. Automatically you see a person, you're like, good, bad, happy person, bad person. I'm in danger, I'm in love. Like those are all split-second decisions that are based on no intelligence, no logic. That's your fucking gorilla brain. That's your what do they call
your
it? Reptilian brain. Yeah, that's the fucking lizard brain in the back of your head that's making these decisions. And it's not you. And the sooner that you realize that voice in your head is not you, the better you'll be. Start basing your decisions on logic. So back to the water. So a lot of you, when you were a kid, no one drank water. You would drink water and then you would drink Kool-Aid or juice or iced tea or something. You'd be like, oh, iced tea, Kool-Aid. Oh, that's great. Super sugary, right? I'm getting a shot of sugar. This is amazing, right? And then you would drink water and be like, oh, there's no flavor. I don't like this. And then as you become an adult and you realize, oh, if I keep drinking sugary drinks, I'm going to get diabetes and it's not good for me. Then you can retrain your brain and associate that sugary drink with diabetes, not with the shot of endorphins that you get when you drink it. And then when I drink water, I think, oh, wow, life. Oh, great. This is the life-giving hydration that my body needs. And now when I drink water, it tastes freaking delicious.
Facts.
And when I drink Kool-Aid, I'm like, oh, no, this is too sweet. And I put it back down on the table. It actually happened last night. We had a potluck here at Fownders where all of the Fownders employees brought in a little bit of food, and we had kind of a makeshift Thanksgiving. And there was a huge jug of iced tea that was super sweet. I made myself a cup. I took one sip. I was like, yeah, no. Put it down and grab some water because my intelligent mind now associates those things with not being healthy and not being good for me. And now Kool-Aid is disgusting and water is delicious.
Hashtag water.
Hashtag water is life. Real quick, I know we're almost running out of time, but I think we might be able to squeeze this in. So I want to do a really quick exercise that I've actually done with some members here in the internal Fownders team. And it is a distinction that comes from the landmark form, anybody who's taken that course. And that distinction is called rackets. So have you ever seen the old gangster movies or the old mafia movies where they're running a racket? And the racket is usually a pizzeria or a candy store or some legitimate business, but in the back they're breaking the law in some way, and they're using that front business as a racket. So you are running rackets in your own life, and what a racket is it's a fixed way of being in your life where you have a persistent complaint, but even though this thing is this way and you complain about it, you don't do anything about it, and it doesn't change, and it continues. So for me, the really easy one that I always use is my weight. I was overweight, and it was a fixed way of being. I was overweight for quite some time, and I was persistently complaining about it. I would wake up in the morning, and I would, wake up every week and every day and every month and every year, and I would say, I don't want to be this way. But none of my actions reflected what I had to do to actually not be that way. And the reason for that is because I was running a racket on myself. I was lying to myself. And believe it or not, we all have multiple personalities. Again, I was talking about the reptilian brain talking to the monkey brain, talking to the unicorn brain that wants to lie.
I want the unicorn brain.
Yeah, that's what I think we try to focus on at Fownders, right?
Yeah,
Getting Silicon Valley. But yeah, so you have different narratives in your head, and some of them come from childhood. And again, your 8-year-old friends are not the same friends that you should have as a 38-year-old. So it's a fixed way of being where you still have a persistent complaint. So even though I want to change this, I want to hire 10 employees, I want to hire my first employee, I want to scale my business, I want to launch my product, I want to get customers. Even though you have this complaint of this thing that you want to do, none of your actions represent that. I hate my boss. Well, why don't you quit your job? You've been complaining about that job for 3 years, bro. Quit your job. What are you doing? So I want everyone to think about a fixed way of being in your life where you have a persistent complaint, but things aren't changing yet. And as we go through this exercise, hopefully you'll be able to have an awakening where things can start changing. So every single racket has 2 characteristics. One of them is the payoff. So the payoff is a way that you get to avoid responsibility. You get to be right or make someone else wrong. You get to dominate or avoid being dominated. You get to justify yourself and invalidate others. And you get to win and make the other person lose, right? And these are very basic characteristics that everyone in life goes through. And the quote that I like to repeat is, people will be in relationships and they'd rather be right than be happy. You'll be ridiculous. But you get caught in this loop, in this constant feedback loop, where you're trying to make yourself right, you're trying to make the other person wrong. It could be a significant other, a spouse, it could be a family member, a parent, and you get in this argument, and at a certain point, you stop caring about loving that person, and you get more caught up in being right and making the other person wrong. So that's the payoff, and you do that to your own self as well. So for me, my payoff, I was able to avoid responsibility for going to the gym. I was able to avoid responsibility for eating right. I was able to be right when I told myself that, it was too hard. I was able to be right and avoid the responsibility of waking up earlier or making time in my day or managing my time better so that I could go to the gym. So there were all these ways where I was able to justify myself and avoid responsibility. So that's the payoff column. So if everyone's playing along at home, write one column payoff, and then all the things that you get to avoid responsibility for with this constant way of being that hasn't changed yet. Now, on the other side, the other column, I want you to write down the costs. So what is this costing you? So for me personally, my weight It was costing me relationships with others. It was costing me self-expression. I wanted to create a YouTube channel, and I was honestly too embarrassed at certain points in my life because I wasn't in the shape of my life that I wanted to present myself to the world. And it costed me a lot of things. It cost me my happiness. I would wake up in the morning and I couldn't wear the clothes that I used to wear, and I couldn't run as fast as I used to run, and I felt like shit in the morning. And there were all these things that it was costing me, but it was costing me these things subconsciously. And once you put a column of the payoffs, what you get to do, which is basically like, I got to like not go to the gym, not take responsibility for myself, and then all the things it was costing me that I didn't even realize. And then I want you to take a step back and look at that list and look at what you're getting in exchange for what you're losing. And when you really just take a step back and get out of your own mind and get out of that narrative of I'm not good enough, I can't do it, the world isn't supposed to give me these things, and you just look at, I am avoiding being happy in the morning. This is costing me being miserable, not wearing the clothes that I want to wear, not creating the videos that I want to create, not doing the things that I want to do, not traveling the places that I want to go because because I'm not comfortable with my body. I don't want to go to a beach. Whatever it is for you, it's costing me all of these things. And what am I getting for it? 30 minutes a day that I'm too lazy to go to the gym. I don't want to put in the time to plan my diet and my budget. Oh, I don't want to pay for a personal trainer. I don't want to pay for a gym membership. Again, whatever that is for you, and you look at the cost association versus the reward, it's going to be really easy to make that decision. If you're trying to reprogram your brain, doing exercises like this, one of the books that I think Rebecca just mentioned is Think and Grow Rich.
I love that book.
I think that's number two. Number 1 and 2 is Think and Grow Rich, and the book that you mentioned, Win Friends and Influence People. Yeah. But very cool. All right, awesome. I think that's it. I think we're at 101. I want to thank everyone for joining this live stream. I want to thank every single one of the Fownders members for being a part of this community, being a part of this movement. Please log onto the platform, fill out your profile, connect with others, and more importantly, over this holiday weekend, spend some time with your family and be thankful for all the blessings that you have in this world. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
We love you, Fownders.
Fownders, peace.
You're a sexy savage now, by the way.
You too, thank you.